Hello, I'm Tyler, and this is Campus View on Buckeye TV, the student television station at the Ohio State University. Today we have a lot of stuff to talk about, and we've invited students into the studio to discuss what's going on. Let's meet them now. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what major you guys are taking and why you attended Ohio State.
I'm Bailey. I'm a second-year political science major, and I chose to come here because both my parents came here, and I just really like the campus.
I'm Taylor Daniel. I'm a fourth-year molecular genetics major, and I came to Ohio State because I like the people here.
I'm Logan, and I am a third-year mechanical engineering major, and I came to Ohio State because who doesn't want to come to Ohio State?
Good answer. So we have construction on High Street around the Mirror Lake and just generally on campus. Now, Taylor, you talked about Mirror Lake before we came on. What was the problem there?
So, as an off-campus student, a lot of the smaller construction projects on campus don't bother me as much, but the thing that really bothers me is the Mirror Lake reconstruction project. Not even, the idea itself doesn't really bother me, but the fact that nothing's gotten done in like the year and a half since they've started it is what really bothers me. Because it's an eyesore for the campus. You always see pretty pictures of campus and Mirror Lake and that whole area, and right now it's been torn up for a year and a half. There's no water in the lake. Nothing's really been done to fix it, it doesn't seem like, and Pomerine Hall right next to it is a disaster. And there's no Mirror Lake Creamery, so there's like 2 years of students who've never had Mirror Lake Creamery. That's good food.
I have never.
All right, now we've talked to them about Mirror Lake. What are the other two? What's your guys' worst? Start with Taylor. What's the worst construction that you think is? Whether it's High Street, something on campus?
For me, I'm a North Campus storm student. I live in Blackburn House, and for me, the most annoying construction on campus is the clock tower, just because I feel like we don't need it. It's just, all this money going into something in the middle of North Campus that is honestly an eyesore while they're constructing it. And the construction wakes me up from my naps during the day after class. And it's the first thing I see when I wake up in the morning based on where my window is. And I just don't like it. I don't like having to walk all the way around it to get to the rec. So I just feel like we had so much going on already on campus with construction, whether it be on High Street or on Mirror Lake or whatever, that even if we did need this clock tower, why right now? So for me, that's been the most annoying.
What about you?
Just picking back off of what they were saying, I think it's incredible the fact that Mirror Lake has had nearly nothing done to it in the year and a half, this icon of Ohio State that when they try to sell you about coming to the campus, they'll be like, oh, beautiful Mirror Lake down there. You can go see the ducks and, just sit by the water and relax. And nothing touched it. But this clock tower that, honestly, when I lived on North Campus last year, that open space was nice and clear and all that, and now it's just sitting there. They're working really hard to get that done. But Mirror Lake, a staple of Ohio State culture, absolutely nothing done. Freshmen from last year never saw it. They're sophomores now. They're in their second year, and they have no idea what Mirror Lake even used to look like, and it doesn't even look like they'll see it before they graduate.
Yeah, now I heard that Mirror Lake, the reason why they shut it down or is under construction is because some guy dived into it or something during the Michigan-Ohio State game. I don't know if that's the reason why you guys think it is, or...
Yeah, I definitely do. I think that there's really no way to regulate people jumping into a lake without draining the lake. And I think that's kind of what Ohio State discovered and why they did this. But to keep it drained for so long, I can understand maybe doing it the year after that tragedy to make sure that nobody jumped into it, but it's been drained for so long, and like Logan said, it's just nobody gets to see how beautiful the lake is anymore, and it's right in the middle of our campus.
Yeah, it is pretty beautiful. So we've talked about Mirror Lake, that construction, if that's even under construction or whatnot. Let's talk a little bit about the High Street construction. I know I live around High Street. I live right behind McDonald's, and that construction right there is kind of annoying because sometimes I'll have to walk across High Street and then walk down and then cross back across High Street to get to where, if I'm going to Gateway or something like that. Do you guys have to deal with that problem, or do you guys all live on campus, or?
I live on campus, so the North High Street construction isn't so much of a factor for me unless I'm going out on the weekends or whatever. But even when I do come in contact with it, it just feels like it's always been there. The entire time I've been to school here, there's always just been high street construction, and you have to wonder, when's it gonna end, you know?
Yeah. And especially on like High and Lane, they're building this brand new apartment complex that's high-rise apartments, very expensive, and it kind of seems unnecessary, especially because it causes such a disturbance to the Lane High Street area, which is a major intersection on this campus.
What about you, Logan? Have you
Go-
dealt
yeah.
with it, or?
Yeah, I live out near Lane, so I have to deal with that Lane and High. And honestly, they're not going to make not nice apartments. Those are going to be nice apartments, and the location is incredible. What students can afford that? Like, at the point where you're doing that kind of thing, it seems unnecessary. And I remember when High Street wasn't entirely blocked off by stuff, and there were businesses and all that were there, and they're not there now. Restaurants having to move different places. Canes used to be more central. It didn't used to have to be all the way down on South Campus. And we're getting a Target and a Chick-fil-A, which, of course,
Everybody loves Chick-fil-A.
that sounds great. Everyone loves Chick-fil-A, and having a place closer to campus to buy things is convenient. But at the same time, we're losing all of these older local businesses, all of these other chains and stuff, just to make use for these big apartments and large retail chains.
I agree. Yeah, those apartments do look like they might be nice. Obviously, they're not completely done with it, but and then obviously the Chick-fil-A, which I'm definitely looking forward to that. But we only have a couple minutes left. Is there any like final thoughts you guys have? Like anything about the construction? Maybe you guys can take your 30 seconds or whatever and yell at whoever's.
I just think that Ohio State should keep in mind that when they're bringing in all these nice new businesses, they're also losing a lot of the culture of Ohio State itself.
All right, well, we ran out of time on this segment, so stick around. We have more coming up on Buckeye TV. Welcome back to Campus View. We have another group of students here to discuss another topic. Let's meet our guests. Just introduce yourself and then favorite Ohio State football memory.
My name is Grace, and my favorite Ohio State football memory was when Ohio State beat Michigan at the very end in overtime and everyone stormed the field.
I'm Colton Ruck, and that is definitely my favorite memory as well, as when they won in overtime. I'll never forget that as long as I'm Buckeye.
Yeah, my name's Jason Baird, and I have to agree with these two. That's top two moments of my life, so definitely agree with that.
All right, now we're on the topic of Ohio State football. There's a bit of a discussion about JT Barrett and whether he should even be the starting quarterback anymore. I have my own opinion on it, but what's you guys' opinion? Grace?
Personally, I'm not a huge fan. I think a lot of the
Of JT
time-
Barrett or of the switch, of him switching?
I'm not a huge fan of JT Barrett.
Okay.
I think a lot of the time he's not a very good passer, and I think a lot of the time he just ends up running himself, which I don't enjoy.
So here's the thing, when I look at it, he holds like almost every single record in the Big Ten, so I got to give that to him. He's a fantastic quarterback, but at the same time, not all the blame is on him. You got to look at the receivers. No separation whatsoever. Obviously, they're a very talented core, but they're not very experienced. I don't think any of them have ever been a starter. I could be wrong, but I do like Dwayne Haskins, though. I think that they should give him more reps in practice and maybe even some of the games coming up against UNLV on Saturday. So just something to look into in case Barrett, possibly if he gets hurt too. So yeah.
Now, what about Joe Burrow?
I do like Joe Burrow. I think Haskins is a better passer, actually, and also I think he's a better runner. But that's just my opinion.
Cool.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem with JT is consistency. He's shown multiple times that he's like able to make good passes every once in a while, but like he'll throw a pick or he'll throw just a ball way over someone's head or way behind him, and it's like, please just be consistent. And that's my biggest problem with him. I agree with the switch. I want Haskins in there. I think he's done his time. He's made records, but I think it's time for him to like move on.
Now, my opinion on the whole JT Barrett thing is he he's not the same since he got hurt in Michigan when they played a few years back. I think it was probably his sophomore year or his redshirt freshman year. But now another controversy that we have on the football team is whether Mike Weber or J.K. Dobbins should be the lead running back. What's your guys' opinion on that, Grace?
I don't have a huge opinion on that one, so I'm going to pass it off.
Okay. Colton?
You see, this is hard because they're both extremely talented. Obviously, Mike Weber is kind of larger. He's a larger quarterback. J.K. Dobbins is more of a speed back. But I think they should get equal reps, and obviously that's not happening right now. Actually, J.T. Barrett's getting the most runs, which is I don't agree with. But, you know, I'm not Urban Meyer. He can do what he wants. I love him.
That's
so
what I said.
They win national
Ohio
championship.
State
It works.
football for the
But,
past 3 years.
yeah, but I think he should at least they should switch off the reps, you know what I'm saying? So if you get like 10 carries each, then when you have two amazing running backs, you might as well utilize both while you have them.
Yeah, no doubt. J.K. Dobbins reminds me of like a Zeke 2.0, and so we've proved that that kind of player is really, really versatile on Ohio State's like offense. We have a very like run-based offense for the past 5 seasons. That being said, I think Weber. I just love Weber. I think he deserves more reps. He doesn't get utilized enough.
Now, on the point that you said about Dobbins being Ezekiel Elliott 2.0, Urban Meyer did come out and say after the Indiana game when he broke, I think, the freshman record or something like that, that he does remind him a lot of Ezekiel Elliott. So maybe we'll see more Dobbins than Weber in the future. But I don't know, is Weber still hurt as far as we know? I know he was dealing with a hamstring, something with his hamstring. That's why he didn't play against Indiana. He played these last 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So I guess we'll have to see how his hamstring holds up or what type, if he has any more injuries or whatever. Switching gears now, let's talk about the Cleveland Indians, how they had their win streak. Grace, you don't seem to me like a big sports fan, but did you watch the Cleveland Indians?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I did watch the Indians. I'm a huge Cleveland sports fan.
So, like, you're Browns?
I'm
Indians,
Cavs fan. Mostly Cavs fans, but I did watch the Indians.
Okay.
I did watch a couple games in their streak.
Who's your favorite player in the Indians?
My favorite player is Francisco Lindor.
Oh, Lindor, Frankie. Colton, what was your...
Honestly, I don't even watch baseball. I'm passing it off.
So I guess I should have talked to Grace more about it.
Yeah.
I apologize.
I'm from Cincinnati, so I don't really watch Cleveland sports other than the Cavs because since he doesn't have a basketball team. But the streak was cool. I don't have a favorite player for the Indians, though.
Okay. So where are you from, Jason? Or Colton?
Oh, I'm from Columbus, from Dublin, Ohio.
Dublin? So,
Yeah.
But you don't like the Indians, or you just don't like baseball?
I just never really had a huge interest in baseball. I think it's cool that they're on the win streak, obviously, but I'm not going to be the guy that jump on the bandwagon now that they're winning games. So, but, you know, it's cool. I'll root for them. They're from Ohio, so might as well have an Ohio team win if I had to pick one of them.
Okay, so I had 2 Cavs fans on here, and the whole controversy over Kyrie Irving and the trade. What's your guys' opinion on that, Grace?
I watched his first take interview. I think it's kind of a little bit of a slap in the face. It's very weird. He dodged a lot of questions. I don't really understand his whole relationship with LeBron. He said that he didn't really care what he had to think or didn't really ask him. I mean, not that he has to ask him if he wants to get traded, but I am just not a huge fan of Kyrie right now.
Okay, last minute.
I mean, I think I respect Kyrie for wanting to leave and create something new. If he would have went to like the Warriors or something, I would have hated him, called him lots of names. But I'm looking forward to seeing how Isaiah Thomas like meshes with the rest of the Cavs. And like I said, I respect Kyrie for starting something new. I don't have any like ill will towards him, but it is a little sketchy.
Now, I was a Cavs fan, but I was also a huge Kyrie fan, so I think I'm not gonna hop on the Boston Celtics bandwagon, but I'm gonna stick being a Kyrie fan. But it's gonna hurt not being a Cavs fan next year.
First game
is against Boston, so
Yeah.
that'll be very interesting.
Yeah.
I was hoping to go to that game, but I don't know.
Jerseys will be burned.
jerseys will be burned.
Jerseys. I don't know.
After that interview, that was a little
I only saw a
much.
little bit of it.
Oh,
So
you should watch it.
I need to watch it.
It's eye-opening.
But we're out of time, so stick around for more Campus View. Welcome back to Campus View. We have another group of students here to discuss what's on their minds. Let's meet our group now, and we're going to switch up the discussion and just have an open talk. Please introduce yourself and what's your name and what's on your mind.
I'm Jinjin.
I'm Devin.
I'm Christian.
Right, and let's just, what would you guys do over the weekend?
I went to the Weekend concert last night, and I think so did.
Yeah, I did too. Actually, it was really nice.
So did you guys all go to the weekend concert?
Yes.
Did you guys go as a group, or did you guys go by yourself?
I didn't know his name before like 5 seconds ago.
Yeah, I just asked her. I just kind of awkwardly looked at her phone. I was like, I feel bad for asking, but did you go to the concert last night? And she did.
Yeah.
So.
Where was the weekend concert at?
The Shot.
The Shot? I didn't even know that was even going on last night.
I feel like it was a little emptier. Like, it wasn't empty, but there were still, like, it wasn't sold out because not a lot of people knew about it.
What else is on your guys' mind? The new iPhone 8 and iPhone 10 came out this past week. What's you guys' opinion on it?
I've actually been waiting for it to come out because I have an iPhone 6 and it's out of storage for like months and the battery is terrible. So I was waiting for the new phone to come out so the iPhone 7 price would drop. And it did, so I'm waiting like next week to go get the iPhone 7. Because I don't care to spend $1,000 for the iPhone 10. I'm happy with the iPhone 7.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was thinking about getting the iPhone 7 as well because the iPhone 8 is like basically the iPhone 7. And so I don't really understand because it was going to be like the 7S, but then they just changed it to the 8 and then called the other one the 10. But I mean, it just seems like a lot of money to basically buy the same phone over again. But I also have a 6, so I kind of want to upgrade because I feel like I'm like falling behind.
Yeah, I bought the iPhone 7 when it came out last year because I really needed an upgrade, and it served me well. But like, I'm looking at the iPhone 8, they upped the prices, so like the 8 and the 10 are the most expensive iPhones out there. And it's ridiculous because basically the only improvements in the 8 are, the standard process is faster and it has a slightly nicer camera, but it has wireless charging, and that's it for like $100 more price tag. And then let's talk about where the iPhone 9 went. Like, why'd we go from 8 to 10? Are they going to come out with an iPhone 9?
Well, I
heard
heard the reason why they did the iPhone 10 is because it was a 10-year anniversary of the first release of the first iPhone.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I think that's why. But thankfully, I'm an Android Samsung user, so I don't have to worry about the iPhone. I can just, buy cheap phones and still have the same stuff. Like you said something about who was it that said the wireless charging?
Wireless charging's on
Yeah.
the iPhone 8 and 10.
Yeah, I think the Samsung phones already had that.
Yeah, they've had that for a while.
I mean, I don't use the wireless, but
But to me,
I know they've had it.
I don't care to plug it in or put it on a thing. It doesn't matter to me.
I don't know, I'm just saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there any other?
Well,
thing
okay.
about the
What
iPhone
about
8
like the
and iPhone
face
10?
scanning? How do people feel about that? Because personally, I don't know if like I like it. I feel it's
Kinda
kind of like new and creepy, and they're
Yeah.
trying to use it to like for Apple Pay and stuff like that. So I don't know. I feel kind of weird about that.
I think it's sketchy. I know they're saying that like it's supposed to be like super glitch free and like very reliable even if you're wearing glasses or a hat or whatever you have on your face. But like I feel like it might be the same thing like when they introduced Touch ID, like the first phone with Touch ID was still kind of glitchy. It still wasn't perfect. And I feel like it's a lot to rely on.
You have anything more to discuss?
I have
or-
a question for you about the iPhone 7. Did the headphone plug-in thing annoy you, like how they changed
Oh
it?
yeah, it's really annoying. So like in my backpack, I always have to carry 2 headphones with me, like a regular one and then one for my laptop. So like I wish they brought back the headphone jack. I feel like that would have been like a plus for
Right.
like the iPhone 8 or something, but they didn't.
Now the thing about the face scan that what if you get just like knocked out or something? Like you have like bruised eyes, a broken nose. Like is it gonna like
Yeah.
recognize your face? Like I don't
Yeah, if you
understand,
like break your nose,
yeah,
I feel like that.
If you just like, what if you get a tattoo on your face? Like it's not gonna be able to recognize you.
Artists.
Now switching gears a little bit, Halloween is coming up. Do you guys have any costumes in mind that you guys want to wear, or even are you guys gonna do anything for Halloween? Or just the fact that it's going to get colder soon, and like if you guys like the crisp
I do.
fall air, the leaves changing.
Yeah.
You like the cold air?
I'm over the 80-degree temperature.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 80 degrees like
I
this
love
this
to
week.
run.
Yeah, I don't understand why. It's been colder.
Yeah.
Honestly.
But Do you guys have costumes in mind for Halloween?
I don't. I feel like you always have to come up with something like witty,
Yeah.
and always like makes me anxious because like you have to think of something clever, especially if you go out somewhere like on campus or like to OU or something like that.
So, but I've like seen like online like people like might be dressing up as like Rick and Morty characters or the character from It. So
Nope. No clowns.
No, we're not doing that.
You're not doing any of that
no,
stuff?
we're not doing that.
Okay.
Not doing the clown stuff.
So speaking of fall, and Halloween is in fall, obviously. What's you guys' to-do list at Ohio State in the fall? Like go to Ohio State games, go to bars, just walk around campus when it's 50 degrees outside, just enjoying the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Is there any?
I think it's nice when you can like walk around campus like in a sweater and not be sweating. You can be wearing a sweater and not sweating. And I don't know. I like fall. It's like an ideal temperature, an ideal season. Pumpkin spice. You know.
So you're like one of those pumpkin spice lattes?
Oh yeah. Nice pumpkin spice.
I like fall for the football games. I think like that's the main thing of the first semester that I enjoy is going to all the football games. And I mean, I like when it like gets cold but not too cold. You kind of layer up, go to the game, have a good time, maybe go out afterwards. I think it's always a good time.
What about you? Anything to do in the fall, like in particular, or?
I love the games too, but this is like a family tradition we have. It's called Family Fall Fun Day. And like my whole dad's family gets together and we like carve pumpkins and usually watch like a Buckeye game and have a fire and stuff. So
Oh,
it's just a fun day we do every year for like
Nice.
10 years now.
Now, do you take the seeds out and roast them?
We
and
did a
eat
few
them?
years, but they weren't very good, so we stopped doing that. We just throw everything away now.
So, what else do you guys do in the fall? Like, obviously, we talked about Ohio State football games. Do you guys go hiking or anything like that in the fall? Like, go to any trails? I know, like, Hocking Hills isn't too far from here.
I love
You guys-
running in the fall. I'm a runner anyway, but I love the temperatures and like the leaves and stuff. Like it's my favorite time of year to go for a run. So I look forward to that every year.
Yeah, I don't run. I'm too broken to run.
I don't like running either. It's too
No.
much exercise for me.
Yeah, I don't run, but like I'm planning on going to Hocking Hills maybe on a weekend, a long weekend away from campus, just because I've never been and I've heard it's just really beautiful with all the leaves and stuff.
All right. So, on the topic of running, where do you guys? Oh, we're actually out of time. I've just been told we're out of time. So, with Buckeye TV, I am your host Tyler. Thank you for watching.